Hello everyone, this is Mike here from Magnifier, and today I'm going to review this stabilizer here because not every low-budget filmmaker can afford to buy a $1,000 to $2,000 gimbal. So today's the first day of May, and I heard that over the weekend it's supposed to be nice and warm, so I want to go out and try the stabilizer out with my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. And I actually bought this probably over, I don't know, we'll say 2 months ago, and I've never really tried it. I tried it out when I first bought it, and it was really hard to set up. There's a lot of factors into setting it up, because when you're trying to stabilize it, you have two things you have to consider. You have to worry about your panning, so your side-to-side motion, and then your tilt, your forward and back motion. And it's very hard to set up when your camera, like this camera, doesn't seem to have perfect balance. This camera, just the way it is right now with this SLR Magic Toy lens, it's actually tilted to the right. It's actually not that balanced because this lens is very heavy. But when you put this Lumix lens on there, which is very heavy, then all of a sudden the camera becomes more tilted to the left, and you have to try to compensate all those things inside the stabilizer. The stabilizer is from AGPtEK, which is actually the name of our generic name for all sorts of stabilizers that are the same. I actually looked it up here. I got it on my tablet. Anyway, it comes under different names. AGPtEK. I think it comes under Image and another brand, and they all look the same. There's some that are in different colors, some that come in black, some that come in with just this like brushed aluminum color, but it's all the same design. So you got your weights here, you got your handle that can freely move, and then you got like different adjustment holes here, and you got where your camera goes, and there's different adjustments there. There's even a different, you can see that, different adjustments for the handle itself where it can be placed. So there's a lot of things you got to adjust all at once to try to get this thing to work. So if I were to take this camera right now and try to put it on there, I'm going to try to do it with this lens because this is the lens that I hope to use over the weekend. I'm just going to put it on. And because I believe this side is heavier, I'm going to actually, let's just try it in the middle first, and then have it over to the left side on the stabilizer. And, I mean, I guess you can say side to side wise, or, pan wise, it seems to be in the middle. And tilt wise, it's not too bad. I might actually, bring this up one, assuming I know how to, do this properly. If I bring this up one, I believe the tilt part of it will be okay, and this will actually be stabilized. And not so much. In this case, I would have to maybe then adjust this. Maybe put the handle further back. Let's assume it needs to go like right here. Nope. I guess I need to put it actually closer down. Try here. Yeah, that looks good. So let's see if we screw that in there. The sound of frustration. Yeah, that's not something you should have to deal with. I mean, if you're on a gig, I guess you'd have to make sure, like I'm doing right now, is you try it beforehand and make sure you know how it works. Before you go on set, obviously, and try to set this up. Alright. So, that's how it looks, and that looks like it's off center. So, I'm not going to keep recording more video about this, but you can kind of get an idea how it works, and then if I could get it perfect, should need to be like right there. Maybe I should put this more in the middle. Sorry, I'd love to actually show this working properly. Alright, so that doesn't work either. Alright, well, I'm not gonna just, it's just not gonna work for me. But if it was balanced, it'd be like this, and then I could do motions like that. And I would say it's probably just as good as a gimbal, except a gimbal has more points of access for balance, where this, I believe, only has two. One being this weight, and the other is the camera, and this back piece kind of being a counterweight. So it would be like this all the time, for the most part. I've seen in videos, like, some people have it like that, and the handle's a little backwards, but it's still, you know, when you record, it has that nice smooth motion. But anyway, I'm going to stop the video here, and then I'm going to try this lens, see if it's a little easier. Maybe because, like I said, the weight is actually on the battery right now and not in the lens, and it's just really hard to balance. So, well, we'll try this. Alright, so now I put the Lumix lens on the Blackmagic camera, and clearly can feel that it's heavier here, but I think it's so heavy in the middle here that it may be able to be balanced in the center over here. So just by the sheer weight of the thing and the length of it, I believe I need to go to the very back end of the stabilizer. Alright, finally. And you can see that from the very back end it has a lot of weight. So I believe this bottom weight here needs to go to the very bottom hole on here. I'm hoping that will then balance this out. And not quite. Seems a little better. I believe then if I put the handle maybe on the far end here, maybe that'll work. And whoops. This isn't holding that well. Alright, there we go. Alright, that didn't work. Yeah, this is a pretty frustrating thing to use. It's also going off to the right, so then I know I need to move this over to the left. Screw that in. Alright, so at least we got it more centered. Kind of. Maybe actually if I move this forward a little bit, maybe. I guess it's a good thing to kind of keep this a little unscrewed so you can play around with it a few times. Oh, look at that. That looks stable. Yeah, I mean, it still kind of takes some getting used to. And it's not perfectly centered either. This is not the greatest thing to use. But you can kind of get an idea. And then when you're walking around, at least you can have some stable shots and it's not all jittery when you're walking around. But here it is, AGPtEK's stabilizer. Supposedly handles up to 2.1 pounds. I actually brought a scale to measure all these things, there's really no point, because I guess part of the reason why I never used it much is that it's hard to set up, and there are other ways. So, I hope you found some value in this video, and thanks for watching.